quite difficult to have a session after lunch, right? I hope I won't make it boring. I won't make it slow so that you guys don't get to sleep. Before we start, I just wanted to kind of shed some sort of interactive knowledge and get some knowledge from you guys as well. As you all are here for a conclave, shared service conclave, I wanted to understand that how many of you, are from technology background or working in technology or surrounded by technology? Okay, quite a few. Well, and the hands are going little slowly up. They're thinking whether I'm part of technology or not. Yeah, of course. Of course. The phone which you're using is technology at the end of the day, right? And anybody is working in technology. When it comes to technology, it's like working in technology. Okay, so you're surrounded by as well as working, very less, or possibly others are shy. Great, so before I proceed, I just wanted to take a small survey or rather small update from all of you on what do you think is currently driving the technology? What do you think that right now is the main core of a technology, or the technology is going this, every company is talking about this technology? Supercomputers, okay.
Basically retrieval of information, the fastness of trying to get the data when you need is where the technology is going to.
Okay, so
making the people to get craze moving into the different platforms.
Okay, great. So you mentioned about the processing of information.
Maybe retrieval of the data. When I want it in a faster way.
Okay.
The traditional way of searching in a book, I just do a SQL in my BI or drag and drop something and get the data out of it. So I prefer to use the technology.
Great, sir. I think after mine, maybe we can have a session from sir as well. Really nice. Anyone else wants to say anything about technology? Yeah.
So I guess technology is like helping people to scale faster.
Okay. So anything which you are seeing as a trend, or right now you are hearing that, if you are in a company and your company or anywhere you go, or wherever you see in LinkedIn or anywhere, you are hearing about that company, or rather the technology.
Sorry, company.
What technology trend are you hearing about? Like AI, machine learning, okay. Okay, low code, business intelligence, design thinking, okay. Design thinking is methodology, but yeah, that's also one of the trend. Anything else?
Brainwaves.
Great, brainwave mapping. Any more thoughts? Just giving it a louder thought. IoT, very good. Great, I think we all know that these are the buzzwords, or these are the technology trends which we are seeing right now in our company as well as wherever we are seeing. Either we hear the news or read the newspaper or hear the news. Everywhere we are seeing these trends. So what I'm going to be talking now is about how we see this decade, or let's say rather 10 years from now. When I say 10 years from now, I'm counting 2020 to 2030 decade, how this decade is going to be progressing. And in, I think, 2 years of this decade, we have already seen a lot of changes. A lot of those things are already implemented in companies. And many companies are going through those trends because those are buzzwords and no one wants to lag behind that, I did not do AI, or I did not do IoT, or I was not part of BI, or I am not looking into brain mapping, whether my company supports it or not, but I want to do it. And one of the digital, or rather, digital words, buzzword is digital transformation. I'm sure everybody in your leadership would be talking about. What's digital transformation? Everybody's talking about, we need to do digital transformation. We need to move to the digital transformation level. So that digital transformation is nothing but how you make your normal workings, or let's say you have paper-related work, you have certain work which are mundane and monotonous, and you're converting them into a digital work, which can be, I am quite sure you would have heard about data ocean, data lake, okay? So to create a data ocean or a data lake so that data can be retrieved faster, data can be utilized faster and can be retrieved in a meaningful way. That's where your digital transformation comes into the picture. So my topic today is to talk about what we are going to be achieving in next 10 years and how we can align ourselves to it and not lag behind, or what are the proactive things we can do. Though we are already 2 years into the decade, rather 2 years are completing, and your planning happens before the decade starts. So we are already into that path, but how can we achieve it? How can we go beyond that? So have you heard about these terms? Quite familiar one, right? Many of you had already named them. AR, VR, I think it started long ago with gaming. I'm not sure how many of you have played games, but then Oculus was a company which came up with this VR concept that we would like to make you feel the game or be in the game instead of just being sitting in a couch and using your remotes, you be in the game. So they came up with this concept, and predominant target was to ensure that people get into the immersive gaming. But how it changed the entire world. Now you see everywhere AR, VR is using. You may not have to use a headset, however, they are using augmented reality, which means they will create your surroundings. You go to Lenscart, right? You want to try a frame, okay? And you don't know how the frame would look on your face. They will just take a 3D scan through your camera, and they'll give you that this frame suits you best when you go ahead and select a frame, right? You go to, nowadays you go to any of the sites which are basically into the reality sector, and when you go to those sites, they are actually trying to sell you apartments and all, right? And they give you 3D view of the apartment. Earlier that wasn't possible, but they are giving you. So that is basically either they are giving you a virtual reality or they are giving you augmented reality. Augmented reality you would have seen in many companies, they are coming up with giving you surroundings of an environment so that you feel you are sitting or being there by seeing the clippings. Cloud, that's one of the things which started in last decade, but it is continuing or rather growing faster in this decade. Many companies have started working on the cloud area in this decade. When I say this decade, this is the 20 to 30th decade. And in this decade, we have got a lot of cloud companies who have been formed as well as being acquired by the major companies. So cloud is going to be one of the trend or one of the area where most of the companies are moving, and most of our companies would have already moved or would have started moving. IoT, we spoke about IoT, and IoT is one of the vast subject if we really consider that, because it is making everything smart. When I say thing, which is literally thing. You can make your chair smart, okay? I was in one of the Conclave in Japan, and there they were showing that, how your shoes, which you are wearing, okay? A smart sole is being there in your shoe that will track how you're walking, and that will predict whether you will in future have any problems related to your knees, related to your back, or related to your shoulder, because your body weight is on that. So how they are calculating that? Of course, they are processing the data, but then they are making things smarter. They are making your shoes smarter. They're making a lot of things smarter. I'm quite sure you would have heard about the thermal jacket, which was recently in Swiss Army they have inducted. That thermal jacket is nothing but it senses the temperature. And if you're wearing that jacket, it's very minimal, and they have certain chips inside, which are and they are using the the technology which is used by NASA to prepare spacesuits to keep the thermal level intact. So for a body, it needs to be 36 degrees centigrade, right? So to maintain that temperature, if you go anywhere, that suit or rather that jacket will know that what is the temperature outside, and accordingly it will adjust the temperature, and you will not feel that you are either in North Pole or South Pole, or you're in Sahara Desert. So these are the things which are happening through the IoT. And IoT is making it possible not only through this, but then making connected devices. A lot of connected devices are being formed. You talk about smart homes, right? Nowadays a lot of companies are selling homes, saying smart homes. Smart homes are nothing but your IoT devices, where your centralized hub is taking commands, and it is acting upon turning on or turning off switches, or you're talking to Alexa, and Alexa is giving commands that, okay, turn off or turn on this TV or this room slide or kitchen slide or something like that. So those things are all possible because we are making things smarter, and that is why it is Internet of Things. And the word which I use is that, the intelligence of the things. We are utilizing some sort of intelligence within the things. I'll come to that part. We'll then come to something which we already spoke about, AI, right? AI, we all know, artificial intelligence, and AI actually is part of all these activities, and it is separate as well. Why we call AI separate is because AI has its own module, its own way. You need to train certain things, and then it trains itself. I just give you a simple example that, in AI we have, or rather ML, someone spoke about ML. In ML we have reinforcement learning, we have, natural language processing, we have further data analysis. All these come under your, AI category, or rather your machine learning category. What machine is learning through whatever input you have given to it. That basically is part of it. That's why AI comes as a separate subject altogether, which interacts with all. Even your IoT is somewhere using AI inside, because those algorithms are making it work. Even your AR, VR, even your cloud, everywhere you go, AI is somewhere or the other part of it. So AI is one of the field which someone spoke about. And we spoke about mobile, of course, mobile technology, and nowadays mobile technology is growing even more faster with a lot of innovation happening in the semiconductor side. Earlier, if you remember, way back in 70s and 80s, mobile was not possible because the chips to run that mobile were huge. You cannot have this big mobile and you cannot lift and say that, hello, hey, where are you talking from? So this was so big, that's why laptops were not possible. You only had desktops and all. When these chips started becoming smaller, we spoke about semiconductor, right? So semiconductor is nothing but it has a lot of all those, circuits and millions of circuits inside small chip. And that is why more and more smaller it becomes, it kind of enables you to get forward in the technology. And that's why your mobile technology is going to be growing very fast in this entire decade. Then comes some certain things which we are aware of, but then we don't look into it in our day-to-day life. One is related to blockchain. Blockchain is again a very highly spoken, or the buzzword, and blockchain is actually enabling a lot of companies. I would say 50 to 60% of banking sector is already utilizing blockchain. And more of them are already moving into it. So by the end of this decade, we'll see a lot of things happening through blockchain, because it kind of is, first, it's very efficient, and at the same time, it is very secure in terms of data handling and data processing. Then comes your bots. Okay, now we talk about bots. These are actually the physical bots. There are bots in AI also. So those are software bots. When you say software bots, they are basically your automated processes or certain codes which you have written, which kind of do certain things repeatedly or do certain things intelligently. But then there are bots which are basically advanced bots. Advanced bots are what? Advanced bots are those which are actually, we relate to it through the industrial revolution, right? When it started earlier, people used to work and human used to assemble things. Then we got the manufacturing belt, and then we had huge robots which are actually doing things. Now robots are doing surgeries. Now robots are doing, robots are actually riding cars for you. If you really say Tesla's autonomous car, it's nothing but robot is riding it. There is an engine. Engine can be considered as a robot inside. And there are a lot of other robots which are basically interactive. And there is one in Bangalore airport, if you know. If you go to Bangalore airport, there is a robot which actually guides you. You can go and ask that robot that, where is my terminal? And it will tell you that, okay, there is your terminal. If you want, I can walk you through. And that robot walks along with you. So these are going to be the advanced robots which are going to be more and more interactive, more and more intelligent, to give you, or rather enable certain things in you which you will be actually doing in your day-to-day life. Then comes biometrics. We have seen in last decade a lot of things happened with in our phone itself. We see a lot of phones, or rather every phone nowadays comes with the biometric. Though that biometric, I would not consider that as very highly secure biometric. That can be still breached. But then they have come up with something which is there on your phone, a biometric device. Earlier, you need to have biometric device connected to a bigger network server, and then it is going to your database, collecting all these things, and it will take handsomely 1 or 2 minutes. But now you have a mobile which is not connected via cable to anything. Through cloud, through network, it is kind of giving you all the, authentication, or rather privacy. It is trying to control your privacy through the biometrics. So biometrics is going to be one of the area where it will grow further. How it will grow? Not only through your fingerprints, but then your face recognition, your face 3D modeling, your retina detection, which basically happens, your teeth. Okay, so the part of your authentication nowadays happens through your tooth as well. How it happens is because everybody of us, I mean, though we say that, we all want, Brad Pitt or Angela Jolie type smile, right? But everybody has got a separate or a different smile. And that is not the lips movement, but rather the tooth's alignment, which actually lets your robot or biometric know that, how or who the person is. And even DNA sequencing, they use the, proteins, and proteins are being used to either your, tooth, or through your hair strands, or through your skin. So these are the areas where they are further analyzing it. Then comes gene sequencing. I think genomics is one of the vast subject, and that is being used and being utilized in medical industry a lot. And we will see more and more things happening towards the gene sequencing and gene management area, and that actually is going to be helping us out becoming, having a smarter generation going down the line. Nowadays, you would have seen that a lot of people go with their kids to, certain doctors or psychologists with, kid which is hardly 3 or 4 years, and they try to assess a brain mapping thingy, and through brain mapping, they say that, okay, what are the nodes which are active on this kid, and what will he become in future? And based on that, they come up with that, okay, this guy will be sports person because maybe his, the ions are charged when his cognitive abilities are moving faster. Or maybe his, logical mind, right inside mind is acting more faster. So he'll be good in mathematics or analytics. So they are kind of coming up with these things by doing brain mapping and all. And these information then will be utilized in future generations, genomics area. And that is advancing at very rapid growth. And I see, or rather we will foresee, a lot of changes happening in this area when we are talking about either cloning, when we are talking about sending people to Mars, and we can't send human, but then we can send a clone which might have more and more capabilities or livability like humans, and that will go to Mars, and then from there they will be able to understand that how that impacts them. And then comes your 3D printing. I think 3D printing is something which right now is quite common. Many areas people are using 3D printing. Mobiles are being used for 3D printing. You have, people are getting now 3D printers at home also for kids projects. I mean, I have one of my, neighbors who has got a 3D printer at home for kids projects, and what are the things they can make through this 3D printer is amazing. And now you have got small pen which are like 3D printer. You put the, the filament, and then you start writing, and it will create those things. You can just write in the air and create a flower on the go, and it heats the filament and creates that kind of a thing. So all these things are available, and people are using a lot with 3D printing, and this is going to be helping a lot. We are not talking about consumer based, or rather me doing a 3D printing, but I'm talking about 3D printing used for creating a heart, okay? 3D printing used for creating kidneys. Those are the things which are going to be happening in 3D printing area, which is going to be the next level of, advanced technologies which are coming in. And all these things, are becoming possible because our computers are becoming super smart. We are having super smart computers. And that is where the middle part, can anybody tell me what is this? The symbol? No? No? This is basically quantum computing. This is quantum, and that's your processor. It's quantum computing. Quantum computing enables what? Your supercomputers are nothing but some sort of enablement of quantum computing. And quantum computing, when we are saying, it is basically doing zillions of transactions in 1 millisecond. Right now we are talking about, some million transactions per minute. Now we are talking about zillions of transactions in a millisecond. That's what quantum computers are going to make things possible. And that's why our supercomputers in last decade to this decade have become more smarter, or rather more capable to handle all these information. So all these technologies are going to be there during this decade, and all will be enabled with supercomputers or with the quantum computers going forward. Though I have spoken a lot about the technologies, how we stay relevant with the technologies is the thing which we need to think about, okay? Very simple, straightforward analogy. First and foremost is fail fast, but know where you're failing, okay? So failure is important for an organization to grow. I've never seen any organization, no matter it is what, never failed and recovered. If you fail and you don't recover, then you're never an organization, you are out of it. But then when you fail and you recover, that's where you get the learning. So learning comes from failures. If you have done all good in your life and you have never failed or you have never done anything which had given you a setback, you have not learned anything. Possibly you had the bestest life ever. But then this part, failing as well as failing faster, actually helps. So in case you're taking decision, make sure those are agile decisions. Agility is the key here. If you are agile, you will fail fast. If you fail fast, you will be able to recover faster. You will know where you failed. So failing fast is one of the most important part in this technology area. If you're going with, let's say, cloud, go ahead and try it out. You tried one of the cloud, did not work. Okay, now what did I learn from that thing which did not work? How do I improve it? That is part of your failing faster. Second is adaptability. How do you adapt? Okay, you failed, you recovered and now. But now environment or things have changed. Now your consumer does not want, the flip kind of a phone or, a phone which would be with the keypad and all. They all want touch screen. So are you changing? Are you adapting to the needs of the consumer? Or are you adapting to the technology which are coming in? Are you adapting to the 10 years technology, or you're still living in some legacy systems which are going to be obsolete in some time, and then you will be forced to move into those new technologies? So that's part of your adaptability, and more you are adaptable, you'll be able to achieve or get what you are actually desiring as part of your vision. Then comes your coordination, or rather I would say learning. How you can fill, first of all, you need to know what are the gaps in your organization. Knowing that will help you in understanding how you can fill the gap. And that gap filling can happen through capability building. How you can build those capabilities, you know where you lag. If you don't know where you lag, you will be hitting nowhere. You will be just going and trying certain things out, but you will end up nowhere. So finding out what are the gaps and filling those gaps and bringing in capabilities is going to be the key. So you know the technologies, bring in the capabilities, try to create internal, technology team, or rather have certain, proof of concepts done. Try to analyze, go meet university professors, understand what are the things they are teaching, and how you can get new talent which has the knowledge of technology, and you kind of nurture that inside your, organization. When you nurture that, that becomes your, future output. It's like, when you put something in your in mutual funds for a longer period of time, and you see that my mutual fund 10 years back was this, now it is this, and you say that, okay, I put it, I forgot, but now I see that there's a lot of things are coming in because you invested something there. So you invest on your resources, invest in your capability building. That will help you move faster. Last but not the least is vision. What vision are you carrying? What is your vision? Do you simply going because you want to do automation because someone said two buildings aside that now I'm going to be doing RPA, so you say that okay, he's doing RPA, I should also do it. So no, not get into the race. Have a vision, what you're actually thinking, and then go next on what you're actually planning with that vision. Are you trying to achieve that goal with that vision? If you have clear vision, you will be able to come up with your goals, your objectives. Based on that, you will prepare your process. Based on that, you will go to the technology. And then with technology, you will be able to reap your benefits. If you don't have vision, you will be hitting nowhere. So having vision is very important. And all these things, whatever you see, take time. So make sure that you make time to take time. You need to make sure that you find or rather put efforts in terms of making, let's say, half an hour or an hour a day for your technology brainstorming. You need to give some time to that. You can't say that, I'm working all my 8 hours with my project, but then I'm thinking that in 10 years I'll be this. So your vision cannot work if you're not making or giving time. So you need to ensure that you are giving time to whatever you are going to be doing in technology and whatever you have decided as part of your vision planning. So that's what I wanted to share from my side. If there is any questions, queries, or anything, we can take it up.
Do we have any? Do we have any questions?
From your perspective, how technology from India's context is going to help eradicating poverty and
This question I don't think even Modi ji can answer. But I'll tell you one thing, which I feel. I mean, it's again personal feeling, nothing related to the presentation which I have made. But my personal feeling is that I was in China almost 7 years back, okay, And what I had seen over there, which we see right now every day, okay, is transaction happening through phone. And at that time, I was surprised to see that, how transactions can happen through phone, man. Someone is doing something and it is being paid to one guy who's a hawker or who's a normal chota mota thela wala guy. And the payment is happening. And I was surprised at that time, to be honest. And then came the demonetization area, and we also saw that, revolution. All are using UPI payments. So I think step towards digitization can help. I cannot say it will eradicate the poverty, by the way. But somewhere I feel, again, it might become a political answer if I give it, but then there are a lot of things which are happening in and around which are going towards technology. And one of the person which I feel that is doing is Mr. Nandan Nilekani, who's from, ex-Infosys co-founder. He's kind of helping in that digital era, moving ahead. So if we move more into digital area, let's say right now we are working on, creating a database or digital database of all the cases which have happened since our independence till now, all the cases which are there in judiciary. If that becomes, a database, I can process and get all the details and always refer to my previous thing. I will not have dates to actually analyze and ask for dates. The data will be readily available. Similar things, a lot of things are happening. I feel digitization is one step closer to it, but can it really take it up? Well, I'm not the qualified person to actually answer that.
One important point in this whole scheme of things is data security, data management. How is that addressed? How is that parallelly taking place? Is that a parallel project? How is that happening?
Yeah, of course. So when you're moving towards the digital transformation, or whatever you do or whatever you make digital, it requires security. And security is the buzzword or keyword, and that requires a separate session altogether. But I'll just give you a small brief about what it means. You need to ensure that your data at rest, which is data which is being kept in a database, is secured. Data at transport, which means when data is moving from one system to another system, is secured. So you have secured it. When you are moving it here, it is secured. And data, while it is being used, is secured. So you're using it for something, it is secured. When you are making these three channels, when you're kind of covering all these three channels, you will never have issues related to the data as well as related to the privacy. Now, privacy is a concern which is more on the self side than onto the company side. The reason being, a lot of things are given as a feasibility to us when we are, even when you install an app, right? They ask you that allow all the things in it. And I don't know how many of you go through all and say click OK. We all allow it because we don't know what they're going to be doing, and we are least bothered. And that's why they utilize it. From company perspective, they said, I asked you, you said OK, and I'm using your data. But that more goes with the awareness that, how you are aware with the data privacy, with the data, your data is being used and how the data is being used. And that is why the cookies, now any website you open, you see that allow cookies, and you're okay to send a cookie. Cookie is nothing but, someone is dropping something on your machine saying that, I now know that you have searched for XL size jacket, and next time you go anywhere, I will send this to everyone, whether it is Facebook, Instagram, whether it is Google or anyone. Whenever you go and search, even you are searching quantum physics, someone will give you an advertiser, and I decide that, okay, go for this jacket while you are searching for quantum physics. So that is basically something dropping a cookie, and that is nothing but a tracker for whatever you are going to be doing. So next time when you click on allow all cookies, just go and see whether you can deny all or whether you can select only the required cookies, because you cannot access or browse without that.
Just a question on the convention where creating a software rather than the low-code platforms which are giving you opportunities to create your own solution. So how is that going to shape up?
I think it's again personal perspective. It's a good move, okay? The reason why I'm saying this because it saves a lot of time. And at the same time, in any organization, you have two sectors. One is your IT sector, one is your business sector. Your IT sector works on development, and your business sector works on, they actually are doing the business at the end of the day. So they are working on whatever work they are doing. Now, IT sector knowing what business is facing a problem is as, vague as IT guy knowing what business is doing. So the collaboration part between IT and business is somewhere where you have your either BRMs or you have some guys who are either business analysts, data analysts, and they collaborate and you create a huge channel to make that business problem solve. How you can solve it when you have, or let's say I said, I enable the business guy itself to develop it or make it. When I will enable him, he knows his problem. He knows his problem and he knows how I can go ahead and do it. Now, I'm not saying that it is going to be taking away all the engineers' job. Engineers are still going to be doing their job, and whatever they are doing, they will be doing, because that is going to be something which they are going to be doing on a global way, or rather a thing which may not be customized. What business will be doing will be highly customizable. I mean, less customizable, but highly deliverable. 90% of the project or 90% of the low-code platforms they will be using would be non-customizable. Non-customizable, when I say, you cannot customize beyond a limit. There is a low-code software which you have got. You can plug in 90% of the things, 10% you can do your part, and that is ready. Your software is ready. But when it comes to your own conventional software development, there you can create n number of things by yourself, because your developer knows what it has to do in the organization. And a lot of things, there are pros and cons in low code as well as on the a conventional development area. But I feel somewhere it will enable the business people only to deliver faster, to get things going faster. And your software engineers can always help in that area as well. But more and more you will enable business, it will somewhere help the IT back, because those systems where these are running are supposed to be managed by IT again. They will not be managing it. You're giving them front end, let them handle the front end, let them customize what they want to as per the limit, whatever customization they have got, and they can work it out.